This time on the Serve to Perform podcast.
What you do is you cross-pollinate.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you do is it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter which market you're in. There's a representation, a cross-pollinated representation in each of those markets. And I think that's ultimately where you want to go. I want to go where people accept me, and so does everybody else.
Right. Absolutely.
And so in order to do that's not just words. You have to literally commit to it, and then you have to make sure that each of those markets have representations that do that.
No. Well, welcome to the Serve to Perform podcast. I'm Adam Arroyos, and today is a special edition of our podcast. And today's going to focus on the new LatinXNA board placement program. And to help me tell you more about it, I've got two special guests with us today from Signature Bank of Arkansas. We have Mr. Scott Sandlin, and we have Mr. Francisco Herrero. Scott and Francisco, welcome. I got to tell you, those titles are pretty cool. President of Multicultural Banking and Chief Strategy Officer. I want to hear more about it. Tell us a bit about, what does it mean to be President of Multicultural Banking, Francisco?
Well, the way I see it is an opportunity for Signature and myself to really better serve our Hispanic and Latino community, to create some economic growth, and to do the right thing for our community. We are first and foremost, Scott, a community bank, which means that we really are ingrained in the community. We are vested in helping our neighbors, our friends, the business community. So in essence, it's an opportunity to really offer a service and help our Latinos and Hispanic community to really develop their own business, and really to achieve their American dream.
That's exciting. And I have to believe that it's a great honor for you to have that role and be able to serve the Latino community.
I'm thrilled, really, and we are doing this the right way, meaning we are here to help in English, in Espanol, with a personal touch, not through a machine, not through an automated service, but really having that personal touch, which is how Northwest Arkansas do business in person, connecting with each other. And that's what we want to do.
Well, I got to tell you that congratulations. It's very exciting. And I have to believe, I'm thinking in my head who else I know, and I can't get to anyone. So I believe you're the first person I consider a friend and an acquaintance that holds the role of president of Multicultural Banking for a bank of the size of Signature Bank of Arkansas. So market president. So congratulations. It's very exciting. And Scott, I got to believe you had something to do with it, being the chief strategy officer, because to me that is a strategic initiative and big strategy. So tell us about your role.
Sure. So thank you, Adam. I would tell you that it's awesome to be able to do this job at Signature. It's easy to do the right thing. And the chief strategy officer role really is looking at the future, looking at what's happening in the community, paying very close attention to what's going on in the world and all the things that are happening in the economy, and then trying to figure out how to make the best use of what we know is happening and going to happen. And what I don't need to tell anybody this. I think everybody that's probably going to watch this podcast is going to realize that Northwest Arkansas is exploding. You don't have to pick up the paper. You don't have to read the magazines about the explosive growth in our area. It's fantastic. But it's multicultural. It's not just one group of people that are coming to this area. It's multi-groups. And to best represent the community that we're in, it's important that we have people that look like, act like, share the same holidays, the same beliefs and ideas. And so that's why we are taking this and making this what it should be. We're investing heavily in it. You look at the growth that's going to come and the growth that's already here. Depending on who you ask and looking at the census numbers, there's a huge expansion in the Hispanic community and multiculturally. I mean, we have a lot of folks from India that are moving to our area. There's a lot of areas that we want to support that might not necessarily have the same kind of support, might not have ever had the experience in their life. And so having people to talk to, you heard Francisco talk about customer service. Part of our strategy is defined by who we are. And I would tell you, Gary Head has made it very important that culture is very important to him and to the bank to make sure that we do the right thing, that when someone calls or someone texts or someone emails, that they're called back in a timely manner, the questions are answered, and that you serve the community like you'd want to be served.
Yeah, sure.
And so those are very important to us, and those are the things that will remain important as we grow. And we want to make sure that everybody that we do business with has the same level of service.
Absolutely.
So that's really where we're focused on, and I'm just blessed to be in a position where I get to look at the future. I get to work with great people like you guys to really try to expand on what's important to humanity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, I absolutely love that, and both of your roles sound very, very exciting. And something that you said earlier, that you are a community bank, and to me, this further reinforces that position, right, and of being a community bank, because a true community bank evolves as their community evolves. And to Scott's point, Northwest Arkansas, as well as many other markets out in the nation, have continuously evolved. And so to continue to operate as a true community bank, you need to evolve right along with them. And that's exactly what you're doing. So congratulations. I know that it's a very bold move. And the other thing that really caught my attention is the word investment, because that's exactly what you've done. It's one thing to share or communicate the evolution or what you're learning or your interest in that new market, right, particularly the Latino community. It's another to take action and to make investments, right, and be intentional. And that's what you've done, is you are not only interested in serving those customers as banking customers, you're interested in serving those customers as a big part of your community and thinking of ways of how you can engage them in a bigger way, empower them, right, and really help develop that community. And so it's just very impressive what you guys done, and just very excited about the partnership. And that's why we're here today. We have teased and sent a couple of teasers to our membership about this partnership that we have with Signature Bank of Arkansas. And what we want to do now is really go a little deeper, right, and really helping them understand what exactly this program is going to be, what they can expect, and how they can participate. And what's really neat is, we go back to our Hispanic Heritage Month campaign we did this past year, right, where we were challenged to think of how we can better educate our region, particularly our business community, in terms of not only the diversity of our Latino community, because we are very diverse. In fact, probably the most diverse, ethnic community in the world. But then also to make sure that we educated the business community on the economic impact. Many businesses we've identified in our region, but I really believe our region is a microcosm of other markets, because I've heard it from others throughout the country. Many of them still don't know that the Latino community is the largest minority community, not only in Northwest Arkansas, in the nation. They still don't know that they are the minority with the largest buying power. Gosh, if you just pull out the American Latino out of the U.S., economists said that it'd be the 8th largest GDP in the world. Think about that. People still don't know that they're the largest segment of the U.S. workforce and continues to grow. People still don't know that the Latino community over-index every other community, minority or not, in new businesses and small business startups. A lot of people still don't know that as of 2020, the Latino community became the largest minority voting bloc in the country. I mean, I'm trying to think of another economic statistic to use, but all the ones I just shared, the Latinos are the largest, but a lot of folks just don't know. So we were intentional this year to have a campaign during Hispanic Heritage Month focused on that. Want to make sure that we provide the education and that we provide the advocacy. And what's fascinating is we gave folks an opportunity to be a part of it. Scott was an executive from the region to do that. It won, but a few days later, I get a call from Scott. And he said, Adam, I just want you to know what we learned the other day was phenomenal. And this is what I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to do. And he told me exactly what he was going to do. He was going to share it with his board. And sure enough, he delivered. And so not only did he just say, I want to invest in helping your firm prepare and position some of your members to serve on corporate boards, I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to commit some advisory board spots to your members. That's pretty amazing. That's game-changing. I don't know of anyone else that's done that, that's doing that. And I really believe that this is the start of something big. You know, one of the things that we hear a lot from our members is want an opportunity. Just give me a chance to serve. Yeah, I serve on nonprofit boards, and it's great. But they want to serve on corporate boards too. And guess what? Companies need them to serve on the corporate boards. They relate and they connect to one of the largest, right, channels of business opportunity in the nation. They can help you understand how to, one, access Latino talent, access Latino investors, right? Access Latino consumers. You go on and on and on and on. So the companies need them to serve on their boards, and our members want to. And so because of you, Signature Bank of Arkansas, and particularly Scott and your leadership and Francisco, we are going to be able to impact some lives. That's pretty cool. These young people, just members in general, who have been wanting an opportunity are not even going to go in there and get that opportunity, but they're going to be able to impact some pretty amazing companies in Northwest Arkansas, starting with Signature Bank of Arkansas. So let me tee up what the program's gonna look like, right? Cohort 1, it's really going to focus on Signature Bank of Arkansas. You guys are the pioneers behind this amazing initiative. So, you know, we're very busy working on getting that certification training program so that we can be able to then start marketing it to our members, getting them to apply, run them to a certification, and then be able to place them, work with you and your market presence, be able to place them on your corporate advisory boards sometime May or June, right? To be able to get that going, to be be a part of that bigger strategy that you guys are working on. But I'd love to hear from you in terms of, in your mind, why is it important to do this, to invest in their development, to serve on corporate boards, but to give them an opportunity to serve on your corporate boards? Why is it important to you to do that? And then what do you envision the impact will be both for them and for the community and for the bank?
So, first of all, I'd just like to say that I think what's been very important and very obvious to me early on in my career is the people who invested in me. And if you want to be successful, it's not about what you can do, but it's more about about how you can give back. And so when I was able to sit in on the call with you guys that very first time, the kinds of things that I heard were help me. Help me learn how I can grow in my position. Help me understand how I could potentially get that next promotion. How could I be considered for a board seat? They just don't seem to be available. I want to serve. I want to participate, but I'm just not called on and asked to do so. And so as you sit and think about that, what became glaringly obvious to me was the importance of we need to make available these opportunities. And it's easy for me to sit here and say, well, I'll put some money towards that, or I'm going to do this. It's another to say I'm going to commit that we're going to do that. And so I went back to the board and basically shared this, and they're like, absolutely, no, that we need to do that. It's not about what we're going to get out of it. It's about what we're going to give into it. And what I really mean there is I think if we invest in these young, talented people, what you will get in return will be far greater than what you actually give. It's important for us to make sure that we represent the community. That doesn't mean we need to buy our way there. Right. We need to participate our way there. We need to make sure that we have people who can answer the questions, that can think like that and can help us make those business decisions in the future that represent the community. So we're very proud and very excited about what we're about to embark upon. It's something that we're committed to, and we hope that, and just like I told you when we sat down, this doesn't, long term, I don't want you to worry about this being just a signature thing. I hope this is a thing that other companies realize the importance of giving and offering these kinds of positions so that people can truly contribute and be part of the community. So we're really excited to make this happen. And Francisco, I'd love to hear. Yeah. I know you were early on in this whole conversation, and it's got to be pretty overwhelming to come in and we hire you immediately, and then we tell you that we want you to go find help find 10 people who are great young talented people to contribute and participate. So I'd love to hear your perspectives as it relates to what you think about what we're committing to.
What I will say, Scott and Adam, is first, before that, you did already, Adam mentioned that I am the first president of a bank probably in Northwest Arkansas. And one of the things that we are trying to address here is to give a platform and opportunity to all those leaders that we have in the community to get more presidents. Why not a CEO of the bank or other businesses that work with us? We are putting action into the words that we really want to help the community. So in a couple of years, I would like really not to be the first president for a bank in our community, but to be one of many. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind, that we are really putting some teeth into our efforts to really, really help the community. Secondarily, as we see more growth into our area and more immigration and more diversity, with that comes a lot of businesses that are really new businesses that are getting into our community, or new business opportunities for the diverse people that are moving into our area. The other day I was discussing with a Puerto Rican couple that they have a desire to open a supermarket with Puerto Rican food, because there is already a community of Puerto Ricans out there that really would like to have their food available to them. We are a bank that can do that, and our board and members can really help drive those new businesses the right way, assess the need, and help us and help the community to really achieve their dreams while they serve the community. So for me, it's a symbiotic relationship for those Hispanic, Latino, and diverse members that come to our board, really to help us help the community, while at the same time they exercise their leadership with action, not just with words.
No, absolutely. I think that's a very cool story, Francisco. And I'm with you. I'm really hopeful that not only will you be the first, but hopefully you'll be the start of something exciting, right? Where you'll be more of you in this region. You started to speak a little bit about kind of what you envision the role of those board members, right? The Latino new members you bring on and place on your corporate advisory boards. Can you speak a little bit about how many positions, right, or corporate boards, advisory board seats you envision to make available to our members initially through the first cohort, and then what are some of those very important qualities that you'll be looking for from those candidates to ultimately eventually be placed on your corporate board? Just can you speak to that a little bit, please?
So we are committing immediately, Scott, to 10 positions in
10 positions.
10 positions.
Exciting.
With more to come.
Very exciting.
That's the first and that is the first step.
So obviously 10 to begin with, like Francisco said, but I will tell you, every single market that we have a branch in really should have a seat or two. Mm-hmm. And so when you think about that, there's 6 branches today, more to come next year, or 6 markets that we serve today, more markets that we'll serve in the future. All of those markets have a multicultural opportunity available. Mm-hmm. So there is going to be more seats available, more advisory board seats available over time. And something, to Francisco's point, we want to continue to grow this. Now, one of the things I think is important, and it's a term we've all heard before, but I think this is just the start. And then what you do is you cross-pollinate. Mm-hmm. And so what you do is it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter which market you're in. Right. There's a representation, mm-hmm. a cross-pollinated representation in each of those markets, and I think that's ultimately where you want to go. Mm-hmm. I want to go where people accept me, and so does everybody else.
Right. Absolutely.
And so in order to do that's not just words. Mm-hmm. You have to literally commit to it, and then you have to make sure that each of those markets have representations that do that.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. So in terms of thinking about this board seat role, right, it's very different than a nonprofit board seat. Can you, and many of our members have never served on a corporate board, so it may be hard for them to really understand what's the difference between serving on a nonprofit board, serving on a corporate board. Do you mind just sharing, Scott, like what can they expect some differences to be?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell you that to be an active board member, you should take some time to do some homework. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are issues that you face on a quarterly or monthly basis, depending on how often the board that you're part of meets. There's things that they want you to be aware of. There may be questions that you're trying to solve for or answer. So you need to be prepared and you need to do, be a good student and a good steward. Make sure that you do your homework before you show up to the board meeting, so that you at least can, represent a point of view, contribute. Yeah. Contribute in a lot of ways is just telling people what you think and what your opinion is about the topic. What I will tell you in decision-making process, a group decision is always better than an individual one.
Sure.
So it's important that everyone is heard and that, the points that are important need to get made. And that doesn't always mean that they're positive. I mean, families have, debate all the time. They still end up loving each other at the end of it. Right. But a board's a lot like that. I mean, there are opinions that come up, and it's important that if you're passionate about something that you feel comfortable in sharing that. Most boards are comprised of individuals who have expertise that others do not. Okay. That's where a good decision from a group is better than an individual because, Adam, you see things, you know things that I don't. Mm-hmm. And for me to discount those because I want to force my opinion on you is wrong. Mm-hmm. And so being able to listen to your opinion and digest that and realize that, hey, there's a reason he's saying that. Mm-hmm. It's important to him. He's convicted about it. So those are the kinds of things that make a good board member. Okay. Realizing that the expertise that person represents is an expert. Mm-hmm. It's a SME.
Absolutely.
It's a subject matter expert, and you have areas that you're much better than I am, and so those things need to be heard and paid attention to. So, those are the kinds of things that make a great board member. Mm-hmm. Being able to speak up, sure. Being able to have an opinion even though it might not be the popular opinion, mm-hmm. Doing your homework and making sure that things are progressing.
Right, absolutely. And of course, serving on a corporate board, there is compensation with us. There's some expectation there, right? Where perhaps in the nonprofit board, you can get away with being passive, right? And doing some of those things or not doing some of those things that Scott just mentioned. But this is a whole different level of expectation. Francisco, you spoke to one earlier about, helping you connect to those opportunities and how you can impact the community. Because the end goal is how do we collectively impact the Latino community? And they're a big part of helping the bank determine how to do so, right? And identifying what are other ways that you really hope to be able to leverage these members in helping deliver on that mission, help the bank deliver on that mission of really fully understanding the needs of the Latino community, but also how to be able to help them realize, obviously, in any economic development goals or business development goals or ways that you can help them.
So one thing that I will say, Adam, is that is a revolving door of learnings and interests here, meaning, as Scott said, a good corporate board has diverse knowledge, diverse thinking. So by definition, not all of them or a lot of them are not in the banking sector.
Right.
So first you will have those leaders learning from the very interesting industry, the banking business. Secondarily, since they come from different industries and they are a representation, or hopefully a representation of a diverse community, they will learn from the businesses, from other members from that corporate board. For me, the most important thing is that our board members are really, really passionate and believe in the mission that we have. Again, that is creating economic growth for our multicultural community in Northwest Arkansas. So they have the opportunity to do exactly that, whether it's using the expertise that they already have or combining with other members of the board or using the bank resources to actually create that, to do the right thing for our community.
No, that's very exciting, and I will share with you that I'm sure we're going to get a lot of interest from our members in wanting to be a part of this. And one of the things I've always admired about our Latino community is that we always stand ready to help out and to serve. It's not very often that there are opportunities that come our way to help us as a Latino community. And so to me, this is a win-win. It's an opportunity to help ourselves within the Latino community, but also to help an amazing bank that we need you to be successful. Because by helping you be successful, you're helping us be successful, right? And that's that symbiotic relationship that you guys were talking about earlier. And so I think you'll find that within our Latino communities. And I just couldn't be happier for the opportunity that you guys are providing. It's something that we've been working hard towards, trying to get a company, an agency, a firm, just to give us an opportunity to provide to our members. And you've done that, Signature Bank of Arkansas. That's something we won't forget. That's something that, we'll make sure that as many people as we know won't forget, and that they know where it started. And, though we're starting with you first, right, in helping place some great Latino talent on the corporate advisory boards, we also appreciate you that, your vision is the broader community, not just, the Signature Bank of Arkansas. Your vision is that more companies will step up, like your bank, and do the same and provide opportunities for our folks to go and serve. You started something that I think will be a legacy for Signature Bank of Arkansas, and just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts and really appreciate you for helping us deliver on our mission. And we look forward to getting this program started, getting these great folks placed, and then following their success right away. And so before we wrap up, anything you'd like to share, any closing remarks, that you'd like to share with our members, Scott, and then we'll go to Francisco?
Sure. Thank you, Adam, for that. I would tell you that, like in anything, from a Signature Bank of Arkansas perspective, we would like to earn your business. And we realize that, you have the ability to go anywhere and bank anywhere. And our style of business is customer service first. Mm-hmm. We will do, you'll get things from the relationship with us that you won't get with others. I mean, there's real live people on the phone that answer the phone first ring, not a phone tree. Right. We're working very hard to make sure that if you speak Spanish and not very good English, that's an option as well. Every time you call. So those are the things, our website and our mobile applications have to represent everyone. And if you choose it to be in Spanish, it needs to be available. And so these are things that, you earn, you're not just given.
Right.
And so I think that's important, and we just want a chance to serve you. And we've proven that we will do that and do that well. We're also not perfect. And so we need to be told from time to time where we're falling so that we can make sure that we fix whatever the issues are so that the relationship is a good one for both of us.
Oh, absolutely.
And more importantly, we will continue to do these kinds of things. We will continue to support the community because it's important and it's the right thing to do.
That's the right thing to do. Thank you, Scott. Francisco?
In that line, the LatinXNA group and the Hispanic and Latin community in general have so many great leaders that deserve this opportunity. We are just happy to be able to put the first stone there for them to really show what they are capable of and to help us to really drive that growth in our community. But this is something that the Latinos, Hispanics truly deserve, and I'm so happy that we can do that for them.
Absolutely. That's very exciting. Well, to all of our members, congratulations to all of you and continuing to work hard, work together to create these opportunities. And I'm very excited that we have this program to offer to all of you. And I'm sure you're wondering, well, how do we sign up and how do we raise our hand to be considered? You should be receiving a notice from your SERVE2PERFORM team on the details on just that, right? What the next steps are, how to get involved. There will be an application process for you to follow, but you will receive more information, more details for you to do that. And just expect that to come very soon because we plan to initiate the initial cohort of our LatinXNA board placement program right after the new year because there's a lot that we need to cover to get you ready to get you placed on these amazing corporate advisory boards. And so stay tuned. And so to wrap up, I just want to say thank you to both of you, Scott and Francisco, and the entire family of the Signature Bank of Arkansas for what you've done. I hope you know that you've made an impact. You've established another legacy and really redefining what community banking really means. And just the more I learn from you, it's truly your differentiator. So thank you for being a part of this special edition of the SERVE2PERFORM podcast, and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Gracias por tenernos. Gracias.